Join me right now. First time on the show, Kumite TV, undefeated flyweight prospect, Brad Walley. What's going on, Brad?
How you doing, man? I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
Good, man. Your last three fights as an amateur, you went to the judges, you got the dominant decision wins, going all three rounds every fight. How helpful was that for you when you turned pro?
Yeah, it was good. So yeah, I only had the one finish when I was an amateur, and then I had the three decision wins. So all unanimous decisions. Um, it was good though. Definitely going the distance gives you a good confidence knowing that you can go all three rounds, and it definitely helps getting that cage time in as well because there's nothing more. Well, you don't need anything more than experience in that cage at the end of the day, and the more time you get in there, the more comfortable you get. So those last three decision wins were good, but then once I went pro, we made a giant emphasis on we want to be finishing fights. We don't want to be taking things to a decision every fight because everyone comes to see, they want to see finishes. And then out of my two professional fights now, I've finished them both within about 2 minutes.
Yeah, incredible year you've had so far. Has anything changed in your preparations or your surroundings since you turned pro?
Yeah. So sort of since I turned pro, like I said, we had a big emphasis on finishes now. So a lot more with my grappling side of things. We sort of turned away from just sort of the fundamentals of sort of all of our positioning and all of that sort of stuff. And we now then started focusing on a lot more of the positions where we're going to start finishing fights from. And definitely with my sparring as well, I started finishing guys in sparring consistently. And it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I started feeling quite comfortable as a finisher. And then, it's funny, they sort of just materialize in front of you. It's not like I changed anything dramatically that in my head that I was doing when I got into the fight, but in the cage, the finishes just sort of came to me.
Well, now you got DFC 9 coming up. You're facing Ryan Robertson, a multi-promotional champion, a veteran of the, in the region. How did this fight come together?
Yeah, so with this fight here, we had my first two professional fights there, and I fought two guys so I believe the first guy had only had maybe two professional fights, and the next guy I fought, Matt Seddon, I believe he had about 40 odd striking fights. So I knew that he was coming in with a lot more experience, and I wanted to sort of go up against someone that's got a fair bit more experience. And then sort of same thing with Ryan now as well. Sort of the first two fights I've sort of finished quite early, and it's getting to the point now where I want to get a bit more. Hopefully, we'll get a bit more cage time in this one. I believe with this guy, I think he's had 15 professional fights. I think he's going to have seen many things that I'm going to have to throw at him, and I think it's going to be quite a good back and forth between me and him.
Yeah, me too. I believe that also. It's going to be a great fight. I think it's probably the fight to watch on the next card. I don't want to, rain on anybody else's parade that's on the lineup, but I'm just saying. Now with Ryan, what is his breakdown? What is your breakdown of his skill set?
Yeah, it was funny. So we were looking at a few guys when we were coming up to this last fight about who to fight, and Ryan was one that I definitely suggested as well. And the way I described Ryan was there was a few other guys we were looking at, and they were quite technical to the point strikers and grapplers, and they did everything that you should be doing. And then the way I sort of described Ryan was he does everything just a bit different. He's very unorthodox in his grappling. He's quite scrambly. He's quite he's willing to give up a position to get the submission. And even with his striking, he's very unorthodox with his striking. But by the looks of it, he does not. You must fancy his chin because he puts his hands down and he'll wave his head out in front of you. And he's quite an unorthodox fighter.
Yeah, his record is very misleading if nobody knows who he is. If you don't know who he is and if you've never seen him fight, his record is very misleading because he is a guy, like you said, he will try to take the submission, before he tries to get the dominant position. He'll put his chin out there. It's, when you look at the fighters that you fought so far, you're kind of like going up in levels, and this guy is another level for you, right? Some people might think it's too fast, but do you feel like this is like the perfect matchup for you at this moment?
I believe this is the perfect matchup for me right now. I think my skills line up with just about anyone in the top 10 right now. And I think with Ryan, I didn't expect to be where I am in the ranking now. Like, I believe I'm sitting number 7 in the rankings. I thought I was going to be way lower, and I expected to do a lot slower climb to the top 10. But so with those 2 fights, it sort of really bumped me into the top 10, where I sort of expected to be sitting in the rankings about where Ryan was. So naturally, this is sort of where I wanted to be fighting next. And I think me and Ryan are going to have a great fight. I think technically I match up great against him. I feel that, I don't think we're moving too fast at all.
Has Diamondback talked to you about introducing a flyweight title? I feel like there is a lot of good flyweights out there in Australia that can fight for the title. Have they talked to you about that?
Yeah, so definitely titles and stuff. We've been thinking about going for a title and stuff, but like I said earlier, my 2 professional fights that I've had already, I don't think I've even seen over 3 minutes in a fight so far. So definitely, I think with this fight with Ryan, hopefully I'll get a bit more cage time in there. I wouldn't mind going to a second, third round. So like I said, I haven't even done a 5-minute round. So with the title right now, a title would be cool. I'd like to have a belt. I definitely think within another fight or 2, would definitely look at going for a title. But going straight into it, because that would be a 5x5er, I definitely want to get a bit more cage time in there before I necessarily jump up and try to go for a 25-minute fight.
Coming up throughout the years, or who are the coaches that have been the most pivotal for you to blend everything together and become the fighter you are right now?
Yeah, well, I've pretty much only had my 2 coaches. Yeah, so Craig Icke is the man that's been with me since day one. Is my striking coach, but he was sort of doing a bit of everything for me right at the start. And like I said, yeah, been with him since day one. He's been a great coach, mentor. He's been great to me. And then obviously my other coach, Matt Jones from ISO Health, he I think he's only been my coach for about a year or so now. But my God, he's definitely probably been one of the most influential people in my life, let alone my career. So massive props to Matt Jones and Craig Icke. They're the 2 that are really behind me the whole way.
Off air, you were telling me about how you've had the introduction of many training partners that are around your size and how beneficial they have been. Talk about those guys and how beneficial they have been for you to, build your skill set.
Yeah, I've been, like I was saying, off air, it's I've sort of been blessed with a lot of training partners that are my own size. Like sort of at the start of my career, I didn't have too many flyweights that I had to train with, but now I'm sort of I'm spoiled for choice with training partners at the moment. We've got 2 boys that joined the team. God, I don't even know how long ago it was now, but they're 2 Muay Thai Australian champions, Daniel and Mitch Schultz. They've been absolutely so helpful to me. They've developed my striking so much, and to be able to spar with boys like that with my striking, if I can hold my own against those in the striking department, then I can't see too many other flyweights in Australia being able to take it to me there. And when those boys finally decide to get into that cage, it's going to be chaos in the flyweight division. And then we've got my other boy Ray Lawley. He black belt in jiu-jitsu now. He is an absolute beast grappler, and so let alone just between those 3, I've got pretty much everything you need right there. And then I'm very, very lucky with a few other training partners that are about my size as well, that are fantastic grapplers, and a few other good strikers. So between all of them, I've got a fantastic camp of training partners.
Flyweights in Australia, there's a lot of guys coming up right now. I'm pretty sure you have your eye on all of them. But who is maybe one of the guys that you would like to face in the future? Someone like Shannon Ross, Stuart Nichols, maybe Steve Erceg. Are those all on your radar? Are those names?
Definitely, I'd love to take on absolutely every one of those guys. I think the fight that gets me most excited would probably be Sean Gauci, I reckon. I think me and Sean Gauci have quite a similar style, and I think me and him going up against each other would just be 2 immovable forces smashing into each other. And I think we would have an absolute back and forth war. I think that would be a great fight one day.
you know, looking at your career and moving up, advancing in your career, when you look at the UFC, you know, a lot of people that's their goal, you know, but the flyweight division seems kind of unstable at the moment. You know, now you got a lot of guys going over to one championship. I know recently one of the boys from Adelaide, the Spartan, man, the name is not coming.
Antonio Caruso.
Yeah, Antonio Caruso. He just signed with one championship. I know he's not a flyweight, but it kind of gives you some hope that, hey, they are looking at the Australian scene. You as a flyweight, you got Demetrius Johnson out there. You got so many flyweights out there that are competing. Do you see that place as somewhere you can go later on and compete with those guys?
Yeah, definitely. I think ONE FC is definitely an option. Personally, my end goal would be the UFC. That's what I've got my eyes on. I'd love to. I just look at that as the pinnacle of MMA. But yeah, not to take anything away from ONE FC. I definitely, if the opportunity arises, then yeah, I think they've got a great flyweight division there. They've got, yeah, obviously you're seeing some of the fights that Demetrius Johnson is having over there. He's having some of his toughest fights yet. So they've definitely got some world-class fighters over there. And yeah, maybe one day we'll even look at that as well.
Yeah, he just won the flyweight Grand Prix today, actually.
Oh, he did win it. I hadn't seen the results. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, look at him go. I'm going to have to go back and watch that fight. Wow.
Yeah, he's got a shiny new belt, you know, to his collection, which is pretty phenomenal. I'm pretty sure he's going to be fighting for the title next versus Adriano Moraes. And it just shows you that you can fight anywhere, man. It doesn't mean that you could only focus on one place. Of course, there's some goals that you have, but hey, there's many options out there for the flyweights. Before all that, November 3rd, Diamondback Fighting Championship 9. It's going to be great, man. Adelaide. Good luck on the fight, Brad, and good luck on the future. Thank you for your time.
Cheers, brother. Thank you for having me.